To be human is to be gross and weird. To be human is to be disgusting and bizarre. To be human is to poop and pee and pick your boogers and talk to yourself in the mirror and itch your armpit and then sniff your finger. To be human is to be ultimately gross and weird. And that's normal. We're all gross and weird. However, most other people don't see us being gross and weird. On occasion, our family member, best friend, or significant other might catch us being gross and weird. And depending on our closeness to that person, it might not be so bad. But for the most part, other people don't see us being gross or weird. Some of our grossest and weirdest moments usually happen alone. And there's something kind of stressful about that. I know I personally find myself feeling like, oh my God, I'm a freak and no one knows. I feel like an imposter. I'm putting off this facade to the world that I'm cool, I'm cute, I'm clean. Actually, nobody thinks I'm clean, and nobody has since I was a teenager. When I one time said on the internet that I don't like to shower, that has stuck with me. And people have thought of me as unhygienic for the remainder of my career. So maybe my feelings are irrational because people actually do think that I'm gross and weird. So that's kind of nice. But people don't know how gross and weird I am. People don't know how gross and weird you are. We are the only ones who are with ourselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to see every single side of ourselves. Our most disgusting and bizarre of moments come out when we're alone. Recently, in my moments alone, I've been finding myself doing shit that I cannot imagine other people seeing. Like truly, it makes me shudder to think about others seeing into my home, seeing into my car, seeing into my mind in my moments alone, because some of the shit I do is just fucking weird or gross or bizarre. Like it's kind of mortifying. However, ironically, today, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the gross and weird shit that I do when I'm alone to make you feel less gross and weird about yourself and to hopefully entertain you and to get it off my chest. Let's say I'm like doing my makeup or something, right? Or I'm getting dressed for the day and I'm looking in a mirror, whatever. Sometimes I will suddenly become entranced, but not like by myself in some sort of like self-love way, like, wow, what a beautiful woman. That unfortunately doesn't happen for me, but I'll become like distracted, like, how am I like perceived by others? What do I look like? I'll almost pose for a photo in the mirror. Like I will like look at what I look like when I'm like posing in certain ways or like what I look like from different angles. And I do that frequently. Like I don't even know why or like how it starts, but I will say something interesting about it, even though it looks fucking weird. Like when I'm looking in the mirror, it's almost like I'm practicing posing in the mirror. Okay. Which is not completely useless for me in my life because I do photo shoots here and there. I go on a red carpet here and there. Not as much recently because I'm not loving the vibe. Not loving the vibe of a red carpet right now. It just does not sound ultimately fulfilling for me. So not recently, but I've had years there where I've gone to many red carpets and there's something helpful about understanding the connection between your body movement and like what it looks like in the mirror. There's like it's nice to understand like, oh, if I move like this, I look like that. And it's impossible to know that unless you move around a lot in the mirror. In a way, it's actually been like a helpful, weird thing that I do. And maybe that's subconsciously why I do it, because I'm trying to teach myself movement to appearance connection, like make that connection. I don't know, but either way, it fucking looks weird. And I will say, I think it's made me photograph better. Like I think I photograph better now because of this weird thing that I do. It's not like the fucking like posing in the mirror that like you see in like a music video. Some fucking hot girl like feeling herself in the mirror. It's like weirder than that. It's just a bit more unhinged. I don't know. It's just cringe. Okay, next weird thing I do. This is weird. Like some of the things I've mentioned this far, it's like, that's not that weird. This next one's pretty weird. So I have grown accustomed to a squatty potty. If you don't know what that is, it's basically this little stool-like contraption that you place where your feet go when you're sitting on the toilet to elevate your feet probably 8 inches or so off the ground to allegedly align your colon or something in the correct position for pooping. Basically, the reason why the squatty potty was created apparently was so that your body, while sitting on the toilet, could be in the proper position to let poop come out easier. Because allegedly, sitting normally on the toilet as though you're sitting in a chair is actually not the ideal position for poop to easily come out, right? Because you got a lot of stuff going on in your lower abdomen. You got a lot of tubes and pipes and all this. And so in order to straighten things out, I guess, not straighten things out, but like create the least amount of blockage, I guess apparently having your knees up while you're going to the bathroom is very helpful. I agree with this. Like, I think it absolutely makes a difference. So I have squatty potties all over my house. But sometimes when I'm in public, I don't got a squatty potty. Okay. They actually do sell portable ones, but I just find it disgusting. The idea of like unfolding a squatty potty, putting it on the floor in a public bathroom, and then refolding it back up and putting it in my purse with all the bathroom bacteria on it. No thanks. So what I will do is, I've done this many times when I've pooped in a public bathroom. Kick over the mini trash can. Okay, if there's like a mini trash can, I'll kick that over and I'll put my fucking legs up on it. One time, oh my God, I'm actually remembering something hilarious. I'm so used to doing this. I have one bathroom. It's like, it's right off the kitchen, right off the dining room, right off the living room. It's sort of like the communal bathroom. And then I have my own, private bathroom in my, bedroom. And so like that one obviously has a squatty potty and the whole nine. But that bathroom doesn't have a squatty potty in it, just because I was like, it's the one that when guests come over, they tend to use. And I don't know, I just didn't put a squatty potty in that one. One time I went pee in that bathroom and there's no squatty potty in there, but there is a little trash can. Now I was just going pee. Okay. And I was not alone. Okay. My boyfriend was at my house. I pulled the little trash can over. I have my legs up. I do what I would do if I was in a public bathroom. I kicked over the just to go pee, by the way. I wasn't even pooping. But I just, for some reason, was in autopilot. I was on my phone, like doing a text, like texting somebody. I was very in the zone. So I kicked it over and I had my legs up on it. And I was like peeing. And I was like bent over, like on my phone with my leg. And of course, it's my boyfriend. I'm very close with this person. He walks in and I have my legs up on the trash. And he's like, what is going on? I was like, oh, totally. So let me explain. And I had to explain this to him. I was like, okay, so like I'm used to the squatty potty when I'm in a public bathroom. This is what I do. I don't know why I just did it right now. I'm only peeing. Like, and he was like, what the? He's like, I can't even fathom. And I was like, I know, I'm so sorry. So, oh my God. I made myself a delicious matcha latte today that is better than usual. What a treat. And I'm just sipping on it and I'm just enjoying it. Okay, moving on. The next weird thing I'll do is listen to the same exact song over and over and over again for 5 hours straight. Now, I know like people are like, oh shit, like I got that song on repeat too. Like, yay. I don't fully believe that people have songs on repeat to the extent that I do. I am convinced, maybe naively and narcissistically so, that I have like I take it to a weird level. Most people are like, oh man, I have that song on repeat. I listened to it like 3 times in a row. I'm like, oh yeah, I have that song on repeat. I've been listening to it for 8 hours straight, 4 days straight sometimes. Like I will become obsessed with a song and will just fucking, I cannot stop. Sometimes for over a week on end, over and over and over again. And to me, that can't be normal. Like I can't imagine other people are doing that. I mean, I guess other people must be doing it. I'm not like a fucking anomaly, you know what I mean? But it is pretty weird to me that I can handle hearing the same exact song over and over again for a week straight at times. It's just very odd to me. Next, when I'm alone and I remember a cringe memory, or I have sort of like an intrusive thought about something that is maybe uncomfortable or embarrassing or tragic or whatever, when I'm alone, I will have physical reactions to these things. When I'm around people, I don't tend to have those types of intrusive thoughts or like cringe memories come into my head because I'm distracted. I'm with other people. But when I'm completely alone, I will have those thoughts and I will physically cringe and twitch when I think about them. And I'll notice myself doing it and I'm like, wow, you're like physically reacting to like, this is so interesting. Like it's not odd. I think it's normal to have a physical reaction sometimes to cringe or painful thoughts. You know, like when you think about something extreme, you will react extreme. It like makes sense. But it's just one of those things where like, if somebody were to be looking in on me, all of a sudden, like I'm like driving alone. All of a sudden I like have a full body cringe. Like my whole body, like you see the cringe. It starts at my toes and it crinkles my nose. You know what I mean? Wherever it goes, I always know. Colby Calais. And to me, like it looks weird. It looks weird. It's like, did she just get a shiver? It's like when you are peeing and you get a little shiver. It's like that. But I'm completely alone and it's out of nowhere. You would never know why it happened. It's like 1 minute I'm cleaning the garage. The next minute I'm lying completely flat on the floor in the garage. And if you were an onlooker looking at that, you'd be like, this is a little weird. What's going on with her? Okay, moving on. So this next thing is like kind of a funny stereotype, but it's actually something I do. And I think this must be somewhat normal, but like when I eat by myself, I eat like a fucking pig. Okay. I eat with my fingers. I eat really fast. I like probably fucking chew with my mouth open. And at the end, I lick the fucking plate. I eat like a pig when I'm alone. Unless I'm like feeling cute and I'm like reading while I eat or I'm like working on my computer while I eat, which happens sometimes too. But for the most part, if I'm eating and I'm by myself, it's pig-like. It's absolutely pig-like. It is animalistic. And I will literally physically pick up my plate and lick it. And it's hard for me when I'm like eating dinner with like my family or like my boyfriend or whoever, or one of my best friends. And I'm like, I can't lick the plate with y'all. Like I've never been closer with anyone. I love you guys, but I cannot lick the plate with y'all. I can't. I just can't. Even with you, it's too much, you know? Like there's just a certain way that I eat when I'm alone that like no one should see. And it's funny because at times I get really hungry and I forget that I'm not alone and it kind of comes out a little bit. And I'm like, I know you're looking at me a little weird even though you love me, you know? Anywho, last but not least, this is something that I've talked about before in an episode, but if you all could see it, you would think it was fucking bizarre. My job consists of a lot of filming myself, recording myself. For the most part, actually, these days, recording myself. This podcast, I mean, twice a week, we're on here. We're talking a lot. I make these episodes a lot, twice a week. And a lot of times, I don't get it right the first go. So I'm re-recording stuff. I'm saying things again. So I'll give you an example. I'll say something like, I really like candles, but candles aren't my favorite. And then I'll stutter on something. And then I'll say, I really don't like candles. Well, I really don't like candles. Well, candles are kind of, I don't like to collect candles. I'll say things over and over and over again before I get it right. You have to redo things. You have to re-say things because sometimes you stutter, you don't get it right, whatever. But then you kind of have to say it again with the same cadence. And it's very odd. Notoriously, as you may know, if you listen to this podcast and you heard my episode about my meltdowns a few weeks ago now, you would know that I sometimes re-record my podcast intro over and over and over again, up to, 60, 70 times. I don't remember. Before I get it right and I can actually get into the flow state and start recording an episode and talking normally. Can you imagine watching me re-record my podcast intro saying the exact same thing 60 times? pretty crazy. Like I'm like, hello and welcome back to Advice Session, a series here on Anything Goes. Like I'll like, and then I'll be like, that one wasn't good. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Advice Session. This is a series on called I fucked that up. And then I'll go over and over and over and over. And to watch that is to be disturbed by it. So anyway, it would be honestly interesting to like Truman Show my life and like watch all the weird shit that I do when I'm alone, because I bet there's stuff I can't even remember. But this is all the stuff that I can remember. And I hope it makes you feel a little bit less gross and weird. We're all gross and weird. And if you're thinking to yourself, Emma, that stuff isn't that weird, I bet your stuff isn't that weird either. Whether you talk to yourself or, I don't know, pick your nose and eat it. Those are two things I don't do. But I don't judge you if you do. Okay? I still can't. The concept of picking the booger and eating it is crazy. But I don't judge, because you know what? Everybody has their favorite snacks. I have mine. You can have yours. So that's all good.